So, can you actually use the power of your mind to win the lottery?
Hmm.
It sounds a bit out there, I know, but that's exactly what we're unpacking today.
Yeah.
We've got some really interesting stuff looking at this whole idea of manifestation
Right.
and how it kind of bumps up against something as seemingly random as, pulling those winning numbers.
It's a question that really grabs you, doesn't it?
Oh,
And it taps into that deep human wish, maybe,
mm-hmm.
to influence things that feel like just pure luck.
Totally.
And for anyone who hasn't really come across it much, manifestation, it's basically the belief that your thoughts, your energy, what you focus on,
Mm-hmm.
can actually shape your reality.
Yeah.
Draw things to you, things like love or career success or, yeah, even money.
Right. And it's not just like wishful thinking for some people. You do hear these stories sometimes. Lottery winners who insist they just knew.
Yeah, you do hear that.
They say they visualized it, they felt the excitement beforehand. It really makes you wonder, is there something more going on than just pure chance?
It definitely sparks the imagination. So the central question we're digging into is,
Yeah.
can you really apply that manifestation, to winning the lottery?
Exactly.
Because on one hand, you have these anecdotal claims, these feelings of knowing,
Mm-hmm.
but then you absolutely have this skeptical view, which is grounded in, well, pure probability. The lottery is designed to be random.
And the odds are just, wow, mind-bogglingly low.
Oh, completely. You mentioned Powerball earlier. What is
Yeah.
it, like 1 in 292 million, something like
Yeah,
that?
something insane like that. It really puts the randomness into perspective.
It absolutely does. Those numbers are almost impossible to really wrap your head around.
So you've got this like power of thought idea over here
Hmm.
and these incredibly long odds over there. But the material we looked at, it does point to an interesting potential overlap, right, in the psychology of it all.
Yes, exactly. Psychology suggests our beliefs can influence our behavior.
Mm.
Maybe not the lottery balls themselves, but
But us, our actions.
precisely. Think about it. Even if manifestation doesn't, magically change the numbers, a strong belief you might win could lead someone to act differently.
How so?
Well, for starters, maybe they're more likely to actually buy a ticket. If you don't believe at all, you probably won't even participate.
Okay, sure. Makes sense.
And there's also this psychological phenomenon, confirmation bias.
Ah, right, where you notice things that confirm what you already believe.
Exactly. So the person who wins after visualizing it remembers that connection very strongly. But what about the, thousands, maybe millions, who visualize and don't win?
They don't make headlines.
They don't. Their experience doesn't confirm the belief, so it kind of gets filtered out of the popular narrative. It's a potential psychological layer to those I knew I'd win stories.
Okay, that's a really interesting angle. So belief might not change the odds, but it could change the player's actions or their interpretation afterwards.
Potentially, yes. It introduces this fascinating human element into what seems like a purely mechanical random system.
So let's dig into how people actually try to manifest a win. What are the techniques people talk about?
Right. Well, the sources we looked at outline a few common approaches. One of the biggest ones is visualization.
Okay, like picturing it.
Yeah, but really vividly. Imagining holding that winning ticket, seeing the numbers, feeling all the emotions, the shock, the joy, the relief, whatever it is for you.
Like running a mental movie of the win, basically.
Pretty much. Making it feel as real as possible in your mind beforehand.
Got it. What else comes up?
Another core technique is affirmations.
Ah, positive statements.
Exactly. Repeating phrases, declarations about what you want. Things like, I am a magnet for wealth, or
Mhm.
abundance flows easily to me. The idea is to kind of reprogram your subconscious beliefs through repetition.
So focused, positive self-talk, essentially.
Hmm.
And then there's this idea of aligned action, right? It's not just about sitting on the couch thinking positive thoughts.
No, absolutely not. That's a key part. Aligned action means taking steps that feel in harmony with your intention. So if you want to manifest wealth generally, maybe it's not just buying a lottery ticket.
Okay.
Maybe it's also, looking for a better job, starting a side hustle, learning about investing, taking practical steps that feel connected to that goal of abundance.
So in a lottery context, maybe that translates to buying the ticket with a sense of like possibility or fun rather than desperation.
That could be part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Acting from a place of belief rather than, say, fear or lack.
Okay. And the last piece often seems to be about letting go, trusting the process. That one feels a bit counterintuitive. If you want it, why let go?
Yeah, it does sound contradictory. But the thinking behind it is that obsessing over the outcome, being really attached to needing it to happen,
Mm.
that can actually create resistance. like energetic resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is to set your intention, do the visualization, take the aligned action, and then detach from the specific outcome of winning the lottery.
Trusting that, like, the universe will provide in some way.
Sort of, yeah. Trusting the process and releasing that rigid grip on how it has to happen.
Yeah.
It's not about apathy. It's about releasing desperate attachment, being open.
Interesting. So it's a combination: visualize, affirm, act, and then chill out about it.
Well, maybe not exactly chill out, but detach from the need for that one specific result. It's a subtle but important distinction in manifestation circles.
Okay. It's a fascinating mix of internal work and external action. But the material we looked at also raises some really important warnings, some potential downsides here, especially if you focus only on manifesting the lottery win.
Oh, definitely. And this is crucial. While these techniques sound appealing, maybe even empowering,
Yeah.
there's a real risk if your focus becomes too narrow, too intense just on the lottery. The sources rightly flag the danger of, well, obsession.
Right. You could end up spending way too much money.
Exactly. If you truly believe manifestation guarantees a win, you might keep buying tickets, more and more tickets.
Even money you don't have.
Precisely. Leading to debt, financial stress, the opposite of the abundance you're trying to attract. That hope can be really seductive, but it can cloud judgment about responsible spending.
Absolutely. And it's not just the money before winning, is it? There's also the issue of what happens if you actually win.
Yes. This is such a critical point, often missed. Even if someone does win a huge amount, are they actually prepared? Mentally, practically.
To handle that kind of money.
Yeah. The sources highlight this. We've all heard those stories, unfortunately. Lottery winners who end up broke, sometimes worse off than before.
Because they weren't ready, poor planning, maybe overwhelmed.
All of the above. It's a huge life change. And without the right mindset, financial literacy, support systems, the wealth can disappear remarkably fast.
It's a really sobering reminder. Having money and managing money are definitely not the same skill.
Not at all.
And the sources we reviewed, they make a broader point, too, about abundance itself. That it's bigger than just a lottery win.
That's a really key takeaway, I think.
Hmm.
True abundance.
Hmm.
It isn't necessarily confined to one giant jackpot.
It can show up in other ways.
So many ways. Meaningful work, strong relationships, good health, unexpected opportunities, personal growth. You know, a rich life has many components.
And if you're only looking at the lottery,
You might miss those other avenues. By focusing all your energy, all your intention on this one extremely specific, statistically improbable outcome, you could be blind to other ways abundance is trying to show up in your life.
right, you're looking so hard for the winning ticket, you don't see the job offer or the helpful connection or whatever else.
Exactly. It's about broadening the definition of what winning or abundance even means.
Okay, so let's try and bring this all together then. Can you actually manifest winning the lottery based on everything we've kind of chewed over here? What's the nuanced bottom line?
Well, based on the info we've looked at, it seems like, while belief, positive thinking, visualization, they can influence our actions, our mindset, maybe make us more receptive. Relying only on manifestation as your strategy for winning the lottery, probably not advisable. The odds are just too immense.
So it's not a magic bullet.
Definitely not. It might play some small indirect role, perhaps, in terms of behavior or mindset. But the lottery itself fundamentally remains a game of chance. Probability rules there.
So the real value isn't necessarily in trying to force a lottery win.
It seems the more valuable application of these manifestation principles is broader. It's about cultivating a mindset, an alignment maybe, with abundance in all its forms across your whole life, not just chasing that one jackpot.
That makes a lot of sense. Fostering a mindset of possibility and openness rather than just fixating on, a statistical long shot.
Exactly.
Okay. So as you, the listener, process all of this from our deep dive, maybe chew on this question for a bit, what does aligning with abundance in that broader sense, what does that truly mean for you?
That's a great question to ponder.
Definitely something to think about.